Welcome, rabies and germs, to Taking a Stab. You're watching this on the official NJ Today YouTube channel. My name's McConnaughay, and for today's video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on the 2017 slasher film, Cult of Chucky. Cult of Chucky is a film written and directed by Don Mancini, the series creator who also directed Seed of Chucky and Curse of Chucky. The film acts as the seventh installment of the franchise, carrying on from the events from its predecessor, and providing a bridge between continuities in an effort to bring it full circle. As always, it stars Brad Dourif as the voice role of Chucky, and has a supporting cast of Fiona Dourif, Alex Vincent, Jennifer Tilly, and Summer H. Howell, all of whom having been involved at an earlier film in the series. Similar to Curse of Chucky, the film opted against the traditional worldwide theatrical release, instead being released through video on demand, as well as DVD and Blu-ray on October 3rd. It's difficult to discuss the film's financial prospects, as home video sale information isn't as readily available as box office numbers, and it's too soon for a general consensus to be found for the film. Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky both have over 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it doesn't sample enough critics for an actual consensus to be suggested, whereas the audience reception from the same website puts both films in the 60% range. The film continues the storyline that started with Curse of Chucky. The main heroine from that film, Nika, has been institutionalized and blamed for the murders that took place in the previous film. Meanwhile, if you watch the after-credit scene from Curse, you won't be surprised to find that Andy, played by the same actor from Child's Play 1 and 2, was the last person to be in contact with everybody's favorite good guy doll Chucky, and is shooting the breeze and reminiscing the good times by locking away Chucky's severed head in a safe and bringing him out every now and again for torturous fun. If I provided much more information than that, I feel as though I'd risk revealing some of the most unique aspects of the film, and so I'll simply conclude by saying the narrative focuses mostly on Chucky wreaking havoc in the asylum, and leave it at that. Something I'll say right off the bat is that I enjoyed Cult of Chucky a lot more than I did Curse of Chucky, a film that I thought was very conventional and bogged down by its own limitations. This film fully embraces the franchise's namesake. Everyone always likes to make comparisons to the original series, like saying Curse returned to the roots of the Child's Play films, or this and that, when in reality, the Curse film approached things in a very different way from the rest of the films, without any real sure similarities. This film isn't most comparable to the Child's Play series either, but isn't most comparable to Curse in the same respect. Cult of Chucky welcomes the series back as a horror comedy, making pop culture references and jokes that actually made me laugh every now and again. Some of us might be less than enthused about that spectacle, looking back at Seed of Chucky and the slow-motion karate attack scenes and having to resist the urge to simply just cringe at it. Thankfully though, I think that Cult of Chucky actually plays it closer thematically to Bride of Chucky, playing for the laughs, but also being serious in more important moments. On the downside, I do think that Cult of Chucky suffers from a lot of the lulling moments that Curse had. The only difference is that this film delivered the goods as well. I hashed it out with someone else who had seen the film, someone else that enjoyed the series a great deal, and the agreement we came to is that practically every moment in the asylum that didn't involve Chucky directly was pretty ho-hum and tedious. Simply put, the characters in the asylum simply weren't that interesting to watch. Some of them feel thrown together and undercooked, only existing for aspects that are convenient to the film's plot, and not as fleshed out characters I can either root for or root against, and others feel too outlandish or unnecessary. In Curse of Chucky, the film had a love triangle between Nika's sister, her husband, and a nanny, and I thought that dynamic, for the most part, wasn't interesting enough to really justify itself, and in this film, I feel the same applies to the dynamic between Nika and the asylum's doctor. Chucky's objectives and abilities have been re-explained multiple times in the series, but in this film, I do think it's arguable that it really goes overboard. Don't get me wrong, because at the same time, I like that they tried something different, but also, at the same time, the concept implemented that is pivotal to this film's story doesn't fit with established rules, and the explanation they give for it is relatively weak. The film's shot in a nice fashion. I almost didn't even mention this, simply because I always have such a soft spot for the colorful, enthusiastic visuals of the initial Child's Play films, but Cult of Chucky is really aesthetically pleasing to the eye. One of the criticisms I had with Curse was in regards to how Chucky looked in the film. This film improves on that for the most part, going with a look for the doll that more closely resembles its old appearance, and looking back, I can't think of any scenes where it looks really awkward or off-putting for the film, which is something that couldn't be said for Curse of Chucky. All in all, I would say that if Curse of Chucky improved a smidgen over Seed of Chucky, even if it didn't entertain me as much as Seed did, then Cult of Chucky improved a considerable deal over Curse and entertained me quite a bit more than Seed. This film isn't perfect, like I said, and it had some moments that dragged at times, with certain characters I couldn't become invested in, But through and through, I would say that I was pleasantly surprised with the film. Although it may not reach the heights of the series in its heyday, it scratches the itch I had by providing the Chucky antagonist with an interesting film that allows the character to stretch its legs and embrace itself. This film makes me optimistic for the future, and I'm excited for the eventual 8th installment. Thanks for watching my review. If you agreed or disagreed with my thoughts, feel free to share your opinion in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to the NJ Today YouTube channel, where I frequently share my opinion on video games and movies. Lastly, I'm also a writer with my third novel, Catherine Forever with Love, set to arrive to Amazon on Halloween for the Kindle and paperback. It'd mean a great deal to me if you'd check that out. Otherwise though, that's really all I have. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time.